universe. It's been quite some time since I have spoken to my camera. It feels weird. A lot of life has happened, a lot of bad life has happened, a lot of questionable life has happened, and a lot of good life has happened as well. I got to a place where I just didn't feel like talking anymore. I felt like I had nothing to say. I didn't feel like talking about autism. I didn't really feel like talking at all. I felt like maybe I had talked too much, and I just felt like I didn't have anything to process, because that's kind of like why I speak out loud. It helps me process things. A lot of shitty things have happened in my life recently, like a lot of stress. And one thing I noticed that I feel like could be connected to neurodivergence is like whenever I go through something that is like unjust or unfair, I will crumble into thousands and thousands of pieces. Like I cannot take it. Like I cannot physically, emotionally. It absolutely crushes me. And in that space, I always revert to why me? Like, why me? Which is like, oh, victim mentality, woe is me, not helpful for anyone, blah, blah, blah. I don't care, right? Like, in this moment, that's how I start to feel. I'm like, why me? Like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, what did I do to make this happen? I like instantly blame myself. And not only do I blame myself, but for some reason, some part of me believes that for some reason, even if it's unknown to me, I deserve the thing that is happening to me. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened to me. It would have happened to somebody else. And growing up, I had very, very strong feelings towards religion. I guess all religion, but specifically Christianity, because that was what I was most familiar with growing up in the US. I immediately questioned it. Like, I was never fed like religion by my parents, but even as like an 8-year-old, I'm like, how can you possibly believe in something that you can't see? Like, call it faith, call it whatever you want, right? But in terms of like autism, it makes no sense. Like, I cannot remove myself from this like logical, like, let me see the facts, like I need the evidence. Like I cannot just believe something. Like even when someone Googles something, they're like, oh, let me check the weather today, and I'm with like a friend or something, and they're like, oh, looks like it's gonna rain later. I'm like, what? Let me see. Like I literally cannot like believe or comprehend something until I see it. Therefore, I will never be religious in any way, shape, or form, because faith is just something that is beyond me. Like I cannot grasp it. Like in terms of certainty, thinking that you know, or knowing like what the heck this all is. Like it's just something I personally can't ever get down with. I think you're probably like, what the heck does that have to do with anything? But I think that in some ways it is connected, right? Because I was always made to believe that there is a reason for everything, right? Things make sense when there's a reason why. Like, you can ask questions any day, like, why is the sky blue? What is this organ in my body called? Like, there's many questions, many things that we can answer in this life that have facts. They are tried and true. They are tested over and over again. This is what we call science. You know, like we have this thing that can answer many of life's questions. But what it has taken me years and years and years to understand and even continue to try to process is that there are no reasons for some things. And I just can't, like, it's so hard to accept, I guess. It's so hard for my autistic brain to accept that, right? Because, like, it's not enough for me, like, logically speaking. But I have to accept that many things in this world, in this life, aren't logical. And that's the whole point. Like, life is not logical. It's random and terrible and cruel and sometimes beautiful, and it's not a logical thing, but I want it to be because my brain is always just like, why? So, like, when I'm experiencing pain, since I was a kid, my question is just like, why? Like, why? But I feel like I've started to come face to face with this sort of, I don't know, issue. Like, I'm almost being forced to, like, accept, right, that, like, there is simply no reason why. Like, terrible, terrible things will happen to you, and terrible, terrible things will happen to really good people, and great things will happen to really bad people. This is just like a fucking, like, we are in a casino. Like, life is giving lottery. That's another reason I could never engage with religion, because I feel like it plays into the fallacy that good things happen to good people and bad things happen to bad people. This sort of, like, just world fallacy, I think it's called something like that, yeah. And that's just not how the world works. It's far more complex than that. And I'm also realizing that I'm extremely lucky and extremely privileged and extremely rich in life, and not by the standards that most people might measure those words by. I don't have money, I'm not wealthy, my family isn't wealthy, but I'm safe and I'm fed, and I have at least a few people who really love and care about me. And some people in this world can't even say that, or can't even say half of that, and it's heartbreaking and devastating, but it's true. And I think part of what has drawn me to this sort of trajectory that I'm in my life now is, like, my just absolute disgust. There's no other word. My disgust for injustice. And societies are built on injustice and inequalities, and I just can't sleep at night knowing that I did nothing to change that in the world. Even if it goes to shit, even if it does nothing. Now I have been doing work on things like accessibility in higher education, and looking at late diagnosed autistic women in my research, and just, if I could be proud of myself after I died, which I can't because I can't think when I'm dead, but if I could, nothing would make me proud. Nothing much would make me proud. I wouldn't be proud of the money I made. I wouldn't be proud of the things that I had. I wouldn't be proud of the degrees that I earned. I would rest peacefully in that bitch, knowing that I at least tried to continue telling a story that for so long has been untold, whether that be medical malpractice against women, or the fact that autistic people have the highest level of unemployment among any disability group, or the fact that autistic students graduate high school at lower rates than their non-autistic peers and graduate college at lower rates than their non-autistic peers. And there are so many stories like mine. And what gets me the most is that in my work, I'm hearing them from people who are 40. And I've seen plenty of stories being told, and I think I've even received comments from people who are 50, 60, 70. Never mind autistic people of color, they face additional forms of neglect. They are diagnosed and recognized even less so than white autistics. They face police brutality at godforsaken rates. Sometimes I wish I could see the world like way into the future so I could see what things are like for disabled people in, I don't know, 4,000, if the world still even exists. I don't know if this made any sense or if it was just a bunch of word jumble, but I'm rolling with it. Back to this thing we call life. Wish me luck. I'm gonna need it.